Hello there, my name is Sophie and welcome to this week's video. This week I thought I would talk about tips for consistent self-development. Self-development wasn't something I'd really been thinking about until I graduated from my undergraduate degree in 2018, and it was being out of education and not being in a full-time career. I really wanted to make an effort, a consistent effort, to keep learning and making things and seeing my own progress. I thought I would talk about a few of the things that helped me start making this progress and things that have helped me along the way. Being able to self-motivate and self-discipline to see self-development is a really good skill to have. So if it's something you're interested in developing, here's my top tips. So the first thing on my list is to look at resources online. One that I've been using a lot is Google Digital Garage. I started doing their digital marketing course, which took me probably the best part of a year, doing 1 or 2 units a week, slowly working my way through them, doing the quizzes, some of the activities, and then I actually got a qualification from the Certified Institute of Marketing at the end. I don't know how respectable it is in industry. If I put it on my CV and I showed it to an employer, perhaps they might not take it as seriously as like a proper marketing qualification, but I put a lot of time into it and it's a completely free resource, and Google has loads of courses on things like CV writing, career development, networking. I did one on confidence the other day, and like presentations and public speaking and storytelling and mind mapping. There's so many really interesting courses, so I try and do one of those a week, not only to learn stuff, but also to have the routine of doing a kind of class regularly and having my time. Thursdays are my day for all my courses. So I've been using Google Digital Garage. There's also websites like Skillshare and LinkedIn Learning, but they aren't free. So some businesses and universities have access to things like that. So if you're in university and you have access to LinkedIn Learning, it's also called Lynda sometimes, Lynda with a Y. Make the most of those resources while you have them, if you have them. My second tip is goal setting. If you read any of my blog posts or you know me in any way whatsoever, you know that I'm big on my goal setting. I have a 5-year plan, I have yearly goals or New Year's resolutions or whatever you want to call them, and I also have monthly mini goals which I publish on my blog post on my blog to hold myself accountable, and all of these little goals work towards seeing progress in bigger goals. So one of my goals for the year is to be in full-time work by the end of 2020, and to do that I know that I have to work on my CV, and I'm working with the careers team at my university and I'm researching the industries I want to work in. One of the next steps that I'm going to work on is looking at the job descriptions of jobs that I think I'd be good at or I'm interested in, and looking at what I don't have, so any experience they require to do that job, and then trying to fill those gaps. So if it's a software or like a coding language, or maybe it's work experience, seeing things like that and knowing what you don't have, you can help to fill in the gaps. So setting those little goals to make progress on the bigger goals is really useful for self-development and makes it all a little bit less daunting, because you have the small steps to make the progress rather than seeing the big goal at the end and thinking you have to make a giant leap to get there. And the last tip I have is kind of less specific and more general, still useful, but more about the mindset than specific self-development. So it's all about changing your attitude in your daily life. So what I've written down here is choose healthier food, take time to look after your skin, and things like that, and they all add up. It's all about making time to do things that are important to you. So if, for example, last month I did a creative writing challenge. I've vlogged it and I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. But creative writing is something that's really important to me. So setting these writing challenges and giving myself the goal of writing a certain amount of words per day makes me make enough time in my day to write. And it's all about figuring out what's important to you and working with your schedule to make time for the things that you really value. And making time for yourself is something that helps with that, I find. Taking the time to look after yourself, whether it's having a long shower and pampering yourself a little bit, or taking off your makeup properly and doing a nice little skincare routine at the end of the day, all those little steps and making time for you kind of proves to yourself that you can make time for the things that are important to you. Self-development covers all aspects of your life. It doesn't have to be career related, it doesn't have to be, you know, self-care related, it can be literally anything, but the most important thing is making time. So yeah, making those little lifestyle changes, I think making time for yourself proves to you that you can make time for the things that are important to you. And those are the top 3 things. Make use of free resources, set yourself goals and break them down into smaller goals that are achievable. You could even do 3 little weekly goals if you wanted to, just to keep yourself on track and making progress, and then making small changes in your general life to prove to yourself that you can make time for the things that are important to you. Self-development is something I think that comes with time. I'm not meaning to sound like all-knowing and like I have all the answers, because this is just what works for me at the moment, and even by the end of the year I might not have the time or the inclination to do all of these things. We can only share what we've experienced, and that's my experience. And seeing the progress is really rewarding, and having some tips can sometimes give you a new perspective on things. I hope this video finds you happy and healthy in these scary times where we're just in lockdown at home. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!